On this episode, we watch another MCU origin movie where the title character could also be called Tony Stark Jr. We watch Spider-Man Homecoming, and you're listening to Geeked Out.
Lights down, screen up, here we go. Talking movies everybody knows. The good, the bad, the ones we quote. Welcome to the Geeked Out Podcast Show! Geeked Out! Gather ready to roll. Breaking down the stories that we all know. Geeked Out! Grab a seat and hang around. Movie lovers getting geeked out. Geeked out!
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Geeked Out. My name is Kyle.
Juan here. What's going on, everyone?
Today, we are getting into the final episode of our MCU origin series that we've been doing. We've gone through Captain America's origin, Iron Man's origin, and most recently, we did the team origin of the Avengers. Now, to finish it off, we are picking up right where the Avengers left off with Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to guess right off the bat that you pretty much had the same experience with this movie I did in theaters. And I know that you're a huge Spider-Man fan.
I'm a bigger Spider-Man fan, so I don't know. Our experiences were matched. No, I'm just playing. I out of the two of us, I would say I'm definitely the bigger Spider-Man fan. And going into this, I was following the news of the person that was going to be cast as Peter Parker, and because it was a huge thing, they auditioned thousands of people, including like known people, like known actors and just people off the street, and they narrowed it down to it was between Tom Holland, I think another actor, and an actor named Asa Butterfield. I'm probably butchering the last name, but he was in a movie called Ender's Game, and I was putting my hat into that ring just because I recently saw that movie, and I didn't see anything of Tom Holland beforehand, so I thought Marvel was going to cast that guy, but they ended up casting Tom Holland, and it's a good choice because I think out of all the actors that have been casted to play Peter Parker, in movies, theatrically, I think he is the best blend of the two, both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is good Peter Parker, but he's not the best Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is a great Spider-Man, not the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland's the best of both. And man, I'm a big fan of it, and as well as this movie.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, so this was what, the sixth Spider-Man movie that we got treated to, because we had the Tobey Maguire trilogy, and then we had the two Andrew Garfield movies. So going into this, right off the bat, they knew they wanted to be different. We didn't get the typical Bite origin with Uncle Ben and the whole great power, great responsibility stuff.
Yeah,
and
it felt like it was too
I appreciated. Yeah, that was the thing. It's like watching a Batman movie and watching the fucking pearls fall. But,
true.
I mean, you're right. The way that Tom Holland embodies not only the character of Spider-Man but Peter Parker as well, I think he did a fantastic job and was 100% the right choice. It's also really refreshing, I found, to watch a guy who's basically age appropriate. Like, he was only 19 when this was made, whereas when you look at those other movies, fucking Tobey Maguire was 25.
He looked like a grown 30-year-old man in that movie.
Yeah, I think Andrew Garfield was like 26. So, like, if you're portraying him in high school, he needs to be at least convincingly look like he could be in high school. And
yeah,
I mean, especially 16. Tom Holland's got such a baby face that even at 19, it's like, yeah, I buy it. He's a great sophomore in high school or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely believable, and he definitely has that that youthful teen, just young kid energy, and he brings that into role, and it's really believable. He does it flawlessly, which is probably
I thought he was great.
He got the role. And I believe there was one of the reasons why he got casted as Spider-Man is because John Berthal, the man who would be hired as the Punisher. They helped each other with their audition tapes, and
Okay.
John Berthal told or suggested to Tom that he should open his audition video with a double backflip, and I think that was credited to him landing the role, is him being able to do that, him doing that in his audition. And it's just awesome that they both went in to play to audition for Marvel characters, and they both nailed it. They both got the role, and now they're going to be in a movie together as those characters at the end of this month in July. And I'm looking forward to that. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I can't wait for a Brand New Day. Super excited for that to come out. And I really like the direction that they're going with the Spider-Man and the Peter Parker character, right? And even right from the beginning, the origin, the way we just get him. Because, I mean, obviously, the first time we see him is in Captain America Civil War, but we get no real backstory behind who he is. So immediately, I like how with this movie, when it starts, it's him kind of going through that whole thing, but it's behind the scenes. They did this movie in a very different way than they've done other origins and things like that. And I mean,
It's a
I,
way
I
to tell, yeah, it's a way to tell an origin story without actually going into the
doing the origin.
specific origin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did it in a pretty good way. I have my gripes with how they
Absolutely.
introduce with just not necessarily anything to do with Spider-Man specifically, but the things that are surrounded by Spider-Man in this movie, just specifically the people. I don't really like how they changed certain aspects of them, and obviously the Tony Stark in the room. That is also a thing that we will you'll definitely be a thing that will be talked about more as we discuss the movie further. But I just wanted to establish certain talking points that will be touched upon soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we get into it? So we'll get through the details of the movie before we talk any further. So as we said, the movie is Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was originally released on July 7th of 2017 with an estimated with an estimated budget of 175 million, and it returned a worldwide box office just shy of $881 million. It currently
Oh yeah.
sits on IMDb at 7.4 out of 10. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes have it at a 92, whereas the fans have it at an 87. The movie was directed by John Watts and written by Jonathan Goldstein, John Francis Daly, John Watts, Christopher Ford, Chris McKenna, and Eric Summers. The movie stars Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, Marissa Tomei, Jacob Batalon, and Zendaya.
And Dave Chappelle. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And the synopsis of the movie is Peter Parker tries to stop Adrian the Vulture Toombs from selling weapons made with advanced Chitauri technology while trying to balance his life as an ordinary high school student. As I said a few minutes ago, this movie connects directly to the end of the Avengers, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, same. You the way they opened is unlike a lot of MCU movies where we got the villain's perspective, and
I mean,
I
they
think
make
it's
him
a
so
brilliant way to
sympathetic.
start a movie. Yeah, I mean sympathetic, and yeah, because you understand where he's coming from, and you understand why he turned to a life of crime, even though we don't necessarily agree. You do completely understand because
Yeah, because
he had a good thing going, and then he gets the rug completely pulled up from under him, and those type of moments can create a supervillain in a comic book world.
well, he says to the woman when she comes in and she's saying the Department of what damage control is taking
Hmm.
over
Yeah,
the salvage operation, and he's like, "Lady, I got a contract with the city. I hired a whole new crew. I bought trucks. I've put everything I have into this." And her response is basically like, "That's
okay,
nice.
too bad.
Go fucking
Take it up.
pound sand."
Yeah, take it up with my superiors. She could give a
Like
fuck less, as well as everybody else. that was surrounding her in that moment. It's just, they came off as, very smug government type, and yeah, that just adds to the understanding of the heel turn within Adrian too.
Absolutely. And that guy who guys like, oh, I think you overextended yourself. I don't know if anybody else has deserved a punch in the face more throughout almost
Yeah,
all of the MCU. Like, just go
I
fuck
know.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have been more professional, and you think you would be in this situation, but I understand why they did that for the
Which
sake of
guy?
the
The guy who
story in a
said it
movie.
or Michael Keaton?
Yeah, the guy who said it.
Mm.
The guy who got punched. But yeah, I understand for the story's sake, you needed to add a little bit more emotion, a little bit more understanding and sympathy for the character there.
Yeah, and I love that.
Because that guy
Basically,
definitely deserved to be punched in the
oh
face.
God, yes. But I like that as soon as the scene is done, it skips forward 5 years and it immediately goes
Eight,
into
8 years.
or 8 years, sorry, like their
Yeah.
super villain lair, and we get the shot of the guy who would end up, if they continued, becoming the Tinkerer.
Yeah.
We get Toombs dropping in. Dude, he looks badass as the Vulture.
I
With the
love
jacket, with
the
the
design.
jacket, with that frill or whatever it is around the neck.
Yeah. They were able
He looks
to
badass.
they were able to do a comic book accurate Vulture costume in their own way. And they did it practically to where it looks believable. Like this is a thing that, it doesn't look too comic book villainy, but still very, very just badass. And the
No,
whole
because
the green lights as the eye, it's very smart choice.
and it is believable because even just the wings, they're powered by directional fans. Like, it's not like
Like a
he's
drone
using Iron Man technology where he's in like almost like a rocket pack or anything like that.
or
It's
like an
just
arc
fans.
reactor. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
we get him, we have the
badass.
Tinker, we get the early version of the Shocker. Like,
There's
there are so
ugh,
many Easter eggs for villains in this movie.
and yeah. And my only gripe, because I'm gonna nitpick this to death. I don't know why they decided to add two Shockers, because
Because
they added
Bokeem Woodbine
two
is
Shockers,
badass.
but he could have been a different character. You didn't have to introduce two Shockers. He could have been Electro or somebody else. You know what I mean? Give me another
No,
character.
I
Just
get it, but I
just the
think
fact that you had these two of the same character kind of just, it was a choice. I just didn't agree with it, and you could have opened up the Spider-Man mythos a little bit more by introducing another villain instead of giving us another version of.
yeah, I think the reason they did it is because it's another thing of almost like sympathy when towards Toombs, because it's this guy on his crew who calls himself the Shocker, who's just this entitled, like, he's just an asshole. And even like when Michael Keaton later in the movie says you're off the crew, he's like, well, I don't know how you can really afford to have me out there knowing everything that I know. It's like, I think
Right?
that's the reason. I don't know, but you're right. They probably didn't need to make him quote unquote the Shocker. They could have just had Bokeem Woodbine do it, and this guy just be an asshole.
Yeah. And again, that's for me, being a big Spider-Man fan, it's just something that I can't look past, really. But
There,
I just,
there's some things I have a hard time getting past in this too, and it's the whole series, not just this one movie.
oh, of course.
Now,
Yes.
as I said, we get Peter's home movies from Germany, which I think are super fun. The stuff with him and Happy in the hotel room, and I think like I laughed the entire time through the.
Yeah. And it's just, they added that into the movie to show how useful Spider-Man is. Like, he is a boy, and this is something a kid would do in that situation. And yeah, no, it was fun. It was funny. Definitely had some good moments. Him and Happy, they play off each other very well.
Yeah,
But
I especially like when he's got his old costume on, and he's like, "What are you doing? Get in here!" And he opens the door. He goes, "I thought that was a closet. That's more room."
yeah, or how he's like, he's filming himself, just talking about what's going on, his adventures, and then Happy
But
comes in. He barges in.
we've got very thin walls here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All that was just
What I
solid.
dis
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
I find I've always found weird is Tony's borderline creepiness when it comes to May.
I
Like
think,
I get where it comes from, but when he looks at the camera and he's like, "Hey May, what are you wearing? Something skimpy, I hope." No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, this movie established like everyone's horny for me. So it's
I mean,
not
it's
just
Marissa
him.
Tomei.
It's just her aura brings out the horniness in all men.
Now I need to ask you as somebody who's a huge Spider-Man fan.
Okay.
What is your opinion on him having the suit made for him as opposed to
Uh,
like the other two movies where he does it himself? Because personally, as much as I think the suit is super cool, I really don't
it's
like that
okay.
the MCU is basically exactly like I said in the open, is almost like trying to make him Iron Man or um, Tony Stark Jr.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And
It irritates me,
I
I
don't agree
guess
with that
is,
either. No, because it takes away from Peter's genius and
and it
ingenuity.
makes him seem like even more of a kid than he
He's
actually is.
Yeah, and it seems like he needs like they're establishing like this Spider-Man is just reliant on other people,
And
and that's just
tech.
not the case. And tech. But usually, yeah, so especially within his suit, he is a tech-based hero, but not when it comes to incorporating the tech into a suit. Um, he is a gadget guy, absolutely, but not within suits at all. And when, the whole Iron Man Jr. thing, it did not work for me. Don't like it. And the fact that even the fact that mm, the suit is less practical and it looks CG throughout the movie kind of just takes me out of it as well. Because, it's that uncanny valley thing. And I understand in the moments where he has to do Spider-Man type acrobatics for it to be CG, because obviously no human being can do things like that. But it just seems like moments where he's not doing anything and it's CG. It's just, I don't know, man. Yeah, it just doesn't look like a real tactile suit most of the time.
The
It
one
just takes me out of it a lot.
the one thing I really do like about the suit actually is the practicality of it. And the way I mean that is when you watch the other Spider-Man movies that they've done, the previous ones, I mean, you never actually watch them get into their suit. I love how when Peter puts this one on,
Oh
it's
yeah.
super loose and he just hits that logo, which again is very reminiscent of Tony tapping his arc reactor on his chest, especially in movies like Infinity War and the Nano. But regardless, he just taps the spider and the suit tightens itself to his body. I always thought that was kind of a cool little touch because every time I've
Yeah.
watched the other ones, I'm like, putting those fucking spandex suits on does not look like fun.
No. And it's clearly a skin tight outfit that
Yeah.
no way that you could put it on within a reasonable time, especially when it's needed. Uh, so yeah, they added that, yeah, to explain that in a way, and yeah, it was cool
I
to see.
do also I do also really like that it shows Peter making his web fluid in chemistry class
That part I liked too.
because
I
like
really liked
where
because it
else
makes
would he
sense.
do it?
Exactly.
Now
He
I
doesn't
want to
have an
know what
evil layer himself yet, so
no I want to know what your opinion is on Flash because
uh,
in every other iteration, Flash Thompson is exactly what he
God.
was when Joe Manganiello played him. He's the big hulking jock bully. Whereas in this movie, I get that they go to a more academic driven school, but he's like I don't know, it's almost he's like a nerd bully who calls Peter dumb, but Peter's clearly smarter than him.
Yeah,
I
he's like
like the guy who played him, but it kind of fell short or fell
it's a
flat
different
for
take.
me.
Yeah, it's a different take on a bully stereotype, and you could have just. There's nothing wrong with keeping a stereotype, especially when is a part of Spider-Man's early, like early years.
And you're getting rid of all the other early stuff from his character. I will get to in a minute.
Exactly, because Flash Thompson, he is a part of his early years, but in Marvel Comics, he does have uh, quite a history, and I don't think they would ever. They're not going to touch upon that
No,
based
God,
off
no.
of based off of who they cast as Flash Thompson, and just the character that he's playing. You just don't get it, you don't see it, and yeah, they kind of it's another choice that I don't agree with when it comes to this Spider-Man. Just his ethos, his mythos, his the things that usually incorporate or is associated with Spider-Man. Yeah, they just didn't make the right choices with certain things, and that's definitely one of them.
Well, one thing I'm hoping that you and I have the same opinion on because I love the guy. What do you think of Jacob Batalon as Ned?
I like it. He's a good addition. Um, I just I just don't agree with the fact that they kind of because he is supposed to be a first of all, he's a replacement for Harry Osborn. And
Yeah,
I don't know why you could have just introduced Harry Osborn. I don't understand why they needed to change that.
because Norman and Green Goblin aren't in this. That's why.
Yeah. And I don't understand why you
I
didn't,
think they
you
just
know what I mean,
didn't.
incorporate them
I
because
just
they are
think that the
part of the
original.
Marvel universe.
I think the other two did that. Like the other two Spider-Man series had Harry in it, and they just tried to move away from it. But
Yeah, but you don't have to. They didn't have to. They didn't have
I
to at
agree.
all because Spider-Man's best friend, uh, Harry Osborn. That's it. You don't have to completely change it to just because it was done previously.
Yeah, and
And they kind of took away from Miles Morales because Miles Morales is that's his thing. He's got a friend. It's not Ned Leeds. His name is Genki, but it's
yeah,
basically the same thing as Ned. It's the same
yeah.
type of
Genki's his
character.
guy in the chair.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of personality as Ned Leeds. So they kind of just stole that from him and kind of flopped it for Peter. And even though the chemistry between Tom and Ed are great, it's fantastic. You believe it. They're friends in real life. You could kind of just feel like you feel that within you could feel that chemistry in the movie.
Well,
I
as I
just
said, oh,
don't
sorry. Go ahead.
understand why I I just don't agree. Even though I did like it, it's another nitpick of a change that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just as my as much as I like him as Ned, you know who I don't like, and I don't care. Come at me. I do not like Zendaya in these movies. I do not like her as MJ, and
I mean, yeah, I get it.
I
I
may,
get it.
I, I may be an anomaly and by myself. Can we get Felicia fucking Hardy, please?
I mean, sure. Is she the first?
She's
Gwen,
the first, then it goes to Gwen, then it goes to Mary Jane.
but Felicia worked at the Daily Bugle, and she was a little bit older than him, right? So that's why they didn't
Well,
hook up.
I know in the animated series,
No, I'm thinking of the one from the Daily Bugle. There was another one. There was somebody who worked at the Daily Bugle
Betty
that
Brant,
he had a yeah. He had a little thing
who
with
is in this movie as one of the reporters on like the TV announcement.
yeah. I thought it was Betty Brant. I didn't want to say it because I wasn't too
No,
sure.
Felicia Hardy, who becomes
She's
Black
Black
Cat.
Cat. Yeah.
She's she was a love interest before Mary Jane ever like or MJ, whatever the fuck you want to call her.
hmm And
I,
Gwen. You
I
could have just gave us Gwen too. Like Gwen's pretty, and I understand that Andrew Garfield had Gwen, but still, you didn't have. There was the
then at
point
least
is
call her
there were
Mary
so
Jane.
many. Yeah, the point is there were so many different options you could have went to establish a first love interest that is an established character already. I get it. MJ, Mary Jane is an established character, but not the way they went about it. And I just don't agree with it. I understand Zendaya, she played the role exactly she understood the assignment and she played the role exactly what she was told to do. And I understand that and it's okay. Um I just don't really like the character that much. I don't think she adds much to it. And in this movie, I think Liz Taylor was actually one of his love interests too. So I think they are pretty accurate with that as well. I could be wrong. Anyways, Zendaya, yeah, I don't, not really a big fan of the direction they took with her. Could have just gave us the redhead. Nothing wrong with that.
But even if you're gonna go the route of Zendaya, just allow her name to be Mary Jane.
Or at
Like,
least give
oh,
her, give,
Michelle.
you,
Oh, my friends call me MJ.
yeah,
Shut
you
up.
could have, yeah, gave her Mary Jane. I don't care if they color swapped her,
No,
but
that doesn't matter to me.
give her the personality of Mary Jane. If you're gonna have her be the character, give her the personality too. I mean, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, like 5 characters there. You can do that with every other character as well because,
Well, the thing with Mary Jane is she was always bubbly is the wrong word, but you get what I'm trying to
yeah,
get at. Mary Jane was always like the positive force. So anytime Peter would have like a down moment, she was there to kind of pick him back up.
mhm.
How is MJ in these movies? If he has a down moment, she's the most miserable human being in these movies.
Yeah, she's like a miserable human being, kind of
The one- the
just
one
like
scene,
Debbie Downer. She's a
the
Debbie
one
Downer type
scene,
of.
absolutely. The one scene that I liked with Zendaya is when they're in Washington and their teachers, oh, why don't you want to come look at the Washington Monument? She goes, no, I really don't want to celebrate something that was built by slaves. And the teacher's like, oh, come on, it wasn't. And the security guard's like,
Kinda.
"Eh."
She's not wrong. I mean,
That was the only part that I kind of enjoyed with her. Everything else, I'm like, I don't need the I hate life.
or her being in the
I hate
detention and
because I have
just
nothing better to do.
yeah,
We saw that
there's
character in The Breakfast Club.
true. It's an unnecessary change that doesn't work in this movie. And eh, unfortunately, they carried on with her character throughout the other movies because, she
Well,
is
now
the
they're
Mary Jane. She is the MJ.
now they're married in real life.
Hmm.
So I can't see that going away anytime soon.
They should. They should at
I
this
agree,
point.
but
I mean, you've got a,
I
yeah,
like what I do like in this is when they do go into, so you get the Vulture as the villain and see how he steals stuff, and I like the fact that they were able to use the alien tech that they had originally salvaged to make gadgets and weapons that they're able to sell, which allows him to continue going out and stealing these things because that's what helps, obviously, just like make him money, but it's also not big enough of a threat to get the attention of people like the Avengers. But these weapons are
right.
insane.
I understand.
Insane.
I understand you took this from an alien ship and off of like the corpse of dead aliens,
How do they know how to use them so quickly?
and you're repurposing them, merging your own technology with them. But it seems like the capability of this technology is only limited to what the writers are put
Well, because
on
all
screen.
their
Because they can do
all the
anything. You can do anything.
well, all the Tinkerer says is they're used as a power source, and then all of a sudden they've created a gun that can pull the front off of an ATM, hold it in midair, and then also can shoot a laser blast that decimates an entire bodega and city block.
Right.
W- w-
Where's
So
the
does that mean that you had
what-
different power source? You could just make that like it's wild what they come up with some of this stuff.
And they should have just emphasized the fact that the Tinkerer is just this almost Tony Stark level genius when it comes to
No,
technology.
he's comic relief.
Right? And they should have, because they it kind of bothers me because they established in Iron Man 2 that the rest of the world isn't even close to creating an Iron Man type suit. But then you flash forward like maybe 10 years and you got a guy that can make basically anything out of repurposed alien technology
Yeah.
and understand how it works to the point where he can manipulate it to his will.
That's wild that he immediately seems to know how it works.
It's just wild. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if it's just the acceleration point of when, Tony Stark said that he's Iron Man and just the what came of that and just an acceleration of just the superhero world itself
Mhm.
because yeah, for just a regular human to be able to do things with alien tech that he's doing is wild, especially when going from Iron Man 2 to Spider-Man.
Yeah. And yeah, so when this whole ATM robbery is the first time Peter's exposed to these weapons. And the next time he sees them is when he's supposed to be crashing Liz's party to prove that that Peter knows Spider-Man or whatever. And the one thing I really did enjoy about this, and one of the reasons I enjoyed it is because I'm a huge fan of both Spider-Man 1 and 2, the games on the PlayStation 4 and 5. This
Oh, yeah.
scene shows that Spider-Man really only works in the big city because once he gets in the suburbs, he immediately realizes I have nothing to swing from. And he's just
And
sprinting across the golf course.
enter another nitpick I had. There wasn't enough Spider-Man swinging within the city. There wasn't enough Spider-Man swinging in general, but
No,
him in the
there wasn't enough
city.
in the city stuff.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that they had a montage of him being Spider-Man in New York, stopping crime, but there just wasn't enough swing.
Was he
There's just wasn't
stopping
enough.
crime?
Well,
Is
trying
this
to,
your bike? If not, don't steal it.
trying to, yeah, trying to.
The guy,
Or
the guy breaking into his own car.
it did look like he was breaking into his car.
It 100% did.
So, but yeah, he kind of messed up that and got yelled at by half the
I,
neighborhood.
I helped this old lady cross the street. She was really nice. She bought me a shirt.
Yeah, and yeah, so just
But yeah, I like that he has to run across
oh yeah, that it's
because it's reality. Like
exactly.
I feel like
It just
any
lets
other
you know
movie
right
that
then and there. Yeah, it puts a thought in people's head automatically in that scene. Like, yeah, Spider-Man's kind of useless when it comes to traveling if he's not in the city,
yeah, unless he's got things around him that are considerably taller than him, he can't really do a whole heck of a lot.
right? Can't swing.
But I
There's
did
nothing.
like that they kind of turned it into the Ferris Bueller running through the backyard scene.
Very on the nose there with the actual.
Well, they were
scene
watching it in
playing.
the in the one part.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't understand though is he's at Liz's party, and then he starts running through these backyards. Dude is cooking, barbecuing food. It's got to be like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah, well he's a man. Well, if you're a man and you love barbecue, it doesn't matter. You will barbecue rain, hail, sleet, snow, all times of the night.
I got a hankering for burgers and hot dogs. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't care.
Hell yeah, he about that life. He about that barbecue life. I respect
And
it. It smelled good. What are you cooking?
so I'll ask you then, who are they demonstrating these weapons for?
Oh, my uncle.
Your uncle.
My uncle.
Shut up.
Uncle the Prowler.
Uncle Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Played
get
by
Aaron, Donald Glover playing Aaron Davis. And if anybody knows any of the Ultimate Spider-Man, you hear that name and you go, your eyebrow goes, huh?
or sorry, he plays Aaron Davis high as a kite.
Dude, he is, oh my God.
I don't know what direction he took that character, but it was, I'm going to look like I am on all types of sedatives.
I know that in preparation for this,
he had like the high chinky eyes going, like he had the eyes.
I know the director made the actors watch a bunch of different movies, like 80s John Hughes teen movies, to get prepared to play these like teenagers, whatever. I feel like the director just looked at Aaron or Donald Glover and went, just watch Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Because yeah, his eyes are glazed, and he is just
and like
he's
half closed or half
oh
open.
he should be in Half Baked. If they remake Half Baked, let him play Dave Chappelle's part.
Which is like it's a direction. It's
It's fine,
doesn't.
but
I mean, it lets me know like he's not really his comic book counterpart because that guy is a pretty efficient villain, pretty efficient thief, and I do not suspect this version is anything like that at all.
no, and his counterpart wouldn't be buying weapons because, like you said, he could do his own shit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why he needed what kind of weapons he needed for whatever the hell he was doing,
Because he just
but
says it's for protection.
sure. I wish they could have just set him up to be a future Prowler. That's all they kind of had to do. That would have been
I
cool too,
mean,
because
they hint.
he does make an appearance in uh across the Spider-Verse, where he plays a like he plays a live action version within the animated world. He plays the Prowler, and he
Don't hate me. I still haven't watched that movie.
oh really? It's
No,
it's great, man. If you
I love
just as
I
good,
love the first one.
just as good as
So, but they do give you a little Easter egg a little bit later because he comes back, and when Spider-Man wants to interrogate him about the weapons, and he says, "I got a nephew," and that's where everybody. That's the Leo meme or GIF. I got a nephew, man, lives in this neighborhood. Oh, do you now? Is his name Miles?
and he calls him too, though. He calls them at the end. I don't know if he says
Yeah,
Mile, but he definitely calls him. So another like Leo point as well. But yeah, you're
yeah,
not
and
gonna establish that character and not at least hint at Miles.
you have to,
Yeah, can't get
especially
into it as well.
because especially because they were building it up so much with things like Into the Spider-Verse down there in the pipeline, the video games, the way that the comics were progressing. Like he's become such a huge character that he's almost left the idea of Peter Parker behind, and it's just, yeah, I'm Spider-Man. I'm Miles Morales Spider-Man. Like it's not
Oh yeah,
I'm Spider-Man in training anymore, or I'm Spider-Man #2. It's just like
he is Spider.
he's made his own complete identity.
Yeah, man. Since his debut, he's kind of exploded in popularity, and those animated movies definitely helped boost his stock to the point
100%.
where he wasn't established in on the main comic book universe. He was an offshoot, but then he got so popular they transported him into the main universe. And yeah, man, the more we're exposed to Miles, the more he is um, being as respected as Peter, which isn't when it comes to characters that are just legacy characters. You don't really see a whole lot of moments where the original gets just enough respect as the spin-off character.
Mm. Yeah, another thing that I want to kind of gripe just a little bit about with this movie is every time something happens and Tony kind of comes to help him or gives him a lecture, he keeps referring to like, why can't you just be, and he keeps saying a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, whatever. Yet very little of what Peter does in this movie has anything to do with his own neighborhood. He's in fucking Washington, D.C. He's, I mean, I guess technically because it's off the coast of New York. He's doing the ferry thing, like
He's not within the city of New York.
no, and like
So
I,
whenever you
I
see him outside of the city of New York, it doesn't feel right.
no, and I mean I enjoy the stuff in Washington. Because this
Yeah,
is
it's
really
okay.
when you get to a real inside look into Peter and what he calls Suit Lady, or who ends up
Mhm.
he names Karen. So of course, fucking Tony put an operating system that talks to him, just like Jarvis does in his Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
I do like the little Easter egg that Jennifer Connelly voices Karen, and she's the real life
Oh,
wife of Paul Bettany, who voices Jarvis.
I wish she was my real life. Biggest crush on her, man, as every man who has seen her
Oh,
in
for sure.
quite a few movies.
She does have one of the, because she's just a voice, like a computer voice. There were several times in the movie that her, like the way she says things really made me chuckle. Like I love when he's in the storage facility and he's talking to her and he goes, "Oh, Karen, how long have we been here? 37 minutes." And then
Right?
later when
Yes.
he's saving them at the Washington Monument and he's like face to face with Liz and you just hear Karen going, "Kiss her. Why aren't you kissing her?"
Yeah. It was good comedic moments. And yeah,
So,
but it just wasn't necessary. I mean,
I mean, the only thing that I found the Washington Monument scene did was obviously you get the trailer scene where he jumps over the helicopter. And it also helps you hate Flash even more
oh yeah.
because this kid is unbelievably selfish and only cares about him getting out and the trophy, which he refers to as my trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you're only on the team because Peter didn't show up for the academic decathlon.
Yeah, he was the alternate.
And I love that when Peter shows up for the bus trip and he's Flash is like, "You can't just come back. You quit." "Hey, Peter, welcome back." "Flash, you're back to first alternates."
Mm-hmm. And I
No,
love that
like,
teacher. I think it's established like that teacher is the same guy because it's the same actor. Is the same guy from there's a scene in The Incredible Hulk in 2008
snore.
where whereas I think he like bribes people with pizza. He's one of like the scientists that he bribes with pizza when he goes to that school,
Oh, okay.
the university. Yeah. I think it was established because it was
Well,
the same actor. They established that it's canon within the characters.
oddly enough, did you ever watch cult hit Freaks and Geeks?
No, I'm familiar with it though.
So Martin Starr, who plays his teacher, was in Freaks and Geeks, as was one of the writers of this movie, John Francis Daly, as was future wife of Hawkeye, Linda Cardellini, and the original
Oh shit.
Harry Osborn, James Franco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That cast.
Oh, that cast is insane.
I think only one, maybe two of that main cast didn't really break out. But the fact that most of that cast have had flourishing careers since then
Oh yeah,
is unheard of when it comes to just TV stars.
yep. And back to this movie. This is the movie we referred to when we watched Captain America: The First Avenger, because this is where we get his principal, Peter's principal, is the grandson of one of the Howling Commandos in Captain America, and he has his grandfather's picture in his office, and it's just him from Captain America.
Right? And
So I like
they don't like put it in your face. It's one of those things that
no.
if you know, it's in the background. And I like when they do things like that.
What they do put in your face is the videos that they make the kids watch of Captain America.
Oh yeah. Because
And then
I understand why they did that. They wanted to establish like this Spider-Man is in the MCU. And
exactly.
so Sony made a deal where they get to use certain other MCU characters into
Well,
their movies. And that's
and
what
I
they used it
liked it
for.
because this is after Civil War. Hannibal Buress, who plays his gym teacher, when he
I
shows
like
the
it.
video,
Yeah, I
he's
like
like, "I don't know, I think this guy's like a war criminal or something now, but I have to show this video."
yeah, because it was right after Winter Soldier. So they're establishing
Well, it's right after Civil War,
continuity.
too.
Continuity. Oh yeah, Civil War. Yeah, that's yeah.
I just love that he refers to him as a war criminal.
Right? Just the delivery is so Hannibal Buress that it works. It's funny.
Now,
What?
okay, what's your take on the ferry
Which one?
rescue fair? I don't even know how to put it. Ferry takedown.
It was a good established scene, for the most part. Uh, it's just the fact that Iron Man had to save the day. But I
That's the
understand.
problem.
I mean, I would throughout the movie, it's trying to establish that Tom Holland, or sorry, Peter Parker, um, he feels like just because he was called up to the majors,
He's an Avenger.
that now that he is an Avenger now,
All of those texts and phone calls to Happy, my God.
and he's so hyper fixated on being an Avenger that he is kind of ignoring the rest of his life.
Yeah, he
And
puts everything. He's like, I can't do anything tonight. I have the Stark internship. And it's like,
yeah, so
dude, your
yeah, the
best
movie.
friend just wants to hang out with you.
So the movie, one of the movie's thing is one of the things the movie is trying to establish is that Peter Parker needs to realize that, yeah, you should just focus on being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man instead of trying to rush into trying to save the world.
In other words, have an origin movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because if you think about it, all of the as big and bad as the villains are in the origin movies, they're pretty low key in comparison to what they fight when they're a team. Now,
Yes.
at this point, Ned has already discovered that Peter is Spider-Man because for some reason May just lets him into Peter's bedroom to wait. But
Right.
when I'm going back for a quick second, that scene at the Washington Monument, I was still blown away. I was almost half expecting that when he shows up, Ned to just go, Peter, you're here. Because that's just kind of the type of character that he is. I'm glad they didn't because that would have been stupid. But
Right. Instead, they just destroyed a Lego Death Star.
yeah, which that hurt my heart a little bit.
And it doesn't make sense that they would have that because whose is that, first of all?
It's
Isn't that like,
Ned's.
okay.
Ned says that he got it, and he's like,
It's like
I'll work-
$700.
well, he's like,
I
I'll
don't-
work
I
on
don't
the,
know how much
I'll work on the bones of it, and then I'll bring it by your apartment, and we'll finish it together.
Well, his parents must have money because that thing is a lot of,
Dude, a small Lego set is like $50.
yeah. I didn't look it up, but I read a post that showed
Well,
the price of the Death Star, and it was like close to $1,000.
let's do it live. I'll look it up right now. As much as interesting as this one, Jesus,
Legos are expensive.
dude, I don't know if this is the same one that they built, but Lego.com. So this, dude, $1,300.
Yeah, more. Yeah,
That's fucking nuts.
I wanted to say it would have been more than 1,000, but I wasn't too sure.
9,023 pieces.
No. So
Good
yeah, man.
God,
Ned's parents got money.
that's insane.
Oh yeah, that's Lego, baby.
But yeah, so obviously Ned has figured out who he is, and he wants to be his assistant, his guy in the chair, as we discussed already. Did you happen to notice who the guy on the ferry buying these weapons was? Oh, come on,
I don't remember.
Matt Gargan,
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
who
Yeah.
we are finally going to get to see in Brand New Day.
They're finally bringing that storyline to, or at least calling back to that. At the end of this movie, they kind of set up something, and I'm glad that
Yep.
they're finally paying that off.
Yeah, it's
But we didn't get much of him. We didn't
no,
get
you
much
get
of
him.
him in the scene. That's why I forgot about it completely because he's not really in that scene as much. I almost forgot that he was in it.
No, you
did
just kind of
forget.
get it. It's another one of those Easter eggs where he's kind of just there for them to say his name. And if people know who he is, they're like, oh, that's Scorpion.
Yeah, his very first villain.
Or it's going to be Scorpion.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, so this, with the ferry, Tony has to come and rescue him, I guess. I think that one of the drawbacks for me with this scene is when they have Peter putting it back together, and then he's doing the whole outstretched arms trying to hold it together. It was a little too much like the subway in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey.
Yeah, it seems like they were trying to bite off that vibe for sure, but it did
and the
not have
difference-
as much emotional payoff
No.
as that, but
And the
I
difference is
get that they
Toby
are
was
paying homage.
successful.
Yeah,
Because this time Iron Man has to come save him. He has this big, almost like a father-son lecture moment to him. And he says to him that he has to take the suit because Peter's just, what does he say? You're not worthy of it. That's not what he says to him. Because Peter says,
yeah,
"I'm nothing without the suit," and he says, "If you're nothing if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it." Which I watched that going, but everything in the suit, aside from his web shooters, is everything that he relies on. So he literally cannot do those things without the suit you made for him, Tony.
true. But it's trying
I
to,
I get the
you
symbolism.
know,
I do.
you shouldn't, you are not the suit. You are,
You're your own person. Yeah.
yeah. So I understand that lesson that he was trying to teach him, that he eventually learned towards the end of the movie. And it's another major lesson that he goes through in this movie, another arc, another lesson that that's established in this.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
he then has to continue going out in his sweatsuit. I don't even know what the hell that costume is.
the prototype, it's prototype suit, which
And
a
we
lot
get
of people
Peter
still
going.
like it.
A lot of people, what?
People really do like that suit,
Well, it's
that
realistic to what
homemade
a
suit.
16-year-old would make
Yeah, and
at home.
it kind of looks like the Ben Riley suit in a way, with the hoodie and
A
a
little
little bit
bit.
like that. A little bit.
I
Enough to where that's probably why people like it so much.
I do like that he's basically wearing like swimming goggles, and then he just like cut two holes in a or like a ski mask type thing to go over top of them.
Hmm.
But
And yeah, it shows like he is capable of making a better suit, but they didn't. They just allowed Tony Stark's influence to run rampant upon Spider-Man's his
yeah,
origin.
did they ever? So on the Spider-Man side of things, he's kind of in a pretty bad place. On the Peter side of things, he's got a date to homecoming with Liz, his crush, who he's a sophomore, she's a senior. Good fucking luck, dude.
I mean, it's
No,
not
no,
like
no, 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 no. Good
I mean,
luck.
in reality, they're all in their 20s, so I mean, they're all close to it.
True, but he asks Liz to the homecoming dance. She says yes. And this reveal is, I mean, it's wild to me because Peter has already seen who the Vulture is. He just doesn't know anything about him. Cut to May drops him off to pick up Liz for the dance, and who opens the door? Adrian Toomes.
Hmm. I love like they established this like nice little song, this "I'm going on a date with a beautiful girl" type song, and then it just gets completely
Silence.
cut as soon as they open the door, and you realize like it's Michael Keaton, you're the bad guy.
I
The
gotta
villain
be
of the
honest.
story is your girlfriend's dad.
Spider-Man, his Peter Parker's poker face is
Oh my God.
atrocious.
No
He might as
wonder
well
why
have,
he fucking figured it out in the car.
he might as well have wrote "I'm Spider-Man" on his fucking forehead.
He was giving him that salty ass look the entire time.
Well, even when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take some pictures," he can't take his eyes off Michael Keaton. He can
Oh,
barely force himself to smile, even though he's going to a homecoming dance with the girl he has this massive crush on.
right. He could have just played the part, man.
And surprise, surprise, Michael Keaton figures it out pretty quickly.
Did you notice? I like the way it was intentional.
Are you
Um,
talking the
when
reflection
he's,
of the
yeah,
stoplights?
yeah, the subtle,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's little visual storytelling. As soon as the moment the truth clicks, a green traffic light, Washington lights. I think that was a nice little touch there.
It it's such a great scene and such a great piece of acting by Michael Keaton. Even like he says like 6, 7 words, but the weight that they carry is immeasurable.
And they gave this Vulture a superpower, which is common sense, because anybody would figure out that Peter is Spider-Man just based off of him, his movements, him constantly being missing. It would take, and the fact that Ned blurted out that he knows Spider-Man, he put two and two together pretty fast at that point.
Yeah. The fact we find out in the next movie that MJ's like, you're Spider-Man. It's like, how did not everybody else figure this out?
Exactly.
Like, there's even one time
Anybody
he
close to
leaves.
Peter.
There's even one time in the beginning of the movie, he leaves school, walks down the step, and jumps over an 18-foot tall fence in plain view of the front of the school. And you're telling me not a single person saw that.
No, man.
Like, he's not hiding anything.
No, he's definitely not being too secret with his secret identity.
Well, that's exactly what I wrote in my notes. Like, but how has he kept this secret identity? He has no poker face when it counts. And when they finally get to the dance, I love the Michael Keaton. He's like, yeah, Liz, you go in. I'm going to have a little man-to-man talk with Peter. The first thing he says is, does she know? And he says, no. Good. And he goes, you interfere. What is it? You interfere with my business again, I'll kill you and everyone you love.
Which is okay.
It's terrifying coming from Michael Keaton in that.
And okay, the movie established that, okay, he is willing to kill. But the first person he kills, he did it accidentally.
Yeah, I thought this was the anti-gravity gun.
As if he didn't really want to kill, so he doesn't really have that killer instinct. But all of a sudden, now he does have the killer instinct.
Now he's like, I'm good with it, no big deal.
Right? I'm willing to kill a kid. I don't really care.
And everyone that he knows and loves.
And exactly, which is crazy.
Which, hey, I think he likes your daughter quite a bit. You gonna kill her?
Right? And yeah, they established. They needed to establish that he is the villain of the story, so they had to make him ruthless.
Which they do a very good job of.
It felt like almost a switch. You understand, but it felt like the level of ruthlessness it came on a little bit faster than would be realistic. But I get it though. I get it. I understand. He isn't.
Well, and even immediately after that, he basically goes into the dance and immediately leaves to go stop him. He has to steal Flash's car, and so this is when he's chasing to where Toombs is because he left his phone in his car. And this is when we finally get Ned as his guy in the chair in the library of the school. When he does finally track down Michael Keaton, and he has the Vulture suit, I guess we're going to call it. Basically, it looks like he's trying to take him out with the suit. But very quickly, if you're really paying attention, you realize what he's doing is crashing this suit through every support pillar in the building that they're in. And the minute he hits the last one, he jumps into the suit and the building collapses on top of Peter.
Now, another nitpick I have is the fact that where the fuck is Peter Parker's spider sense? It's non-existent. And I feel like there are moments where it should have been activated. No,
it's non-existent until Infinity War, when the hair stands up on his arms on the bus.
Well, they do establish it in Civil War. There are moments where he does have a spider sense in that movie. It's just you don't see it for a long time after that, because it's not really in any of at least the first couple Spider-Man movies. And it's not the best choice, because that's a part of Spider-Man's one.
Well, it's a huge integral part of Spider-Man.
Exactly, and it is a part of. It makes up for a lot of great Spider-Man moments, is when the spider sense is being activated.
And I hate when he does have it, they start calling it his Peter Tingle.
Yeah, so stupid.
God, that drives me nuts. Like, there are so many things they do with these movies that I love, but then there are things like that I'm like, it makes me feel like I'm watching something for kids.
Yeah, it definitely has a immature kind of non-seriousness that it takes away from the character because there are so many iterations of Spider-Man, and they all, even though they're different in a sense, there's certain things that remain the same. And if you don't show that, display it in a Spider-Man movie, it just, yeah, you can't be as immersed as you would be if you see the character that they have established in comic books, then animation and video games. They didn't do it here. And I just didn't agree with it at all.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I do really like is when he's trying to get up from under the building, you get the shot of his mask in that puddle, and you get the reflection where half of it is a reflection of his face, and the other side is the mask.
Oh
For
yeah,
that,
as the
it shows that duality, which they've always done really
mhm.
well in Spider-Man movies.
Yes, it's
And
it's
he,
a familiar imagery when it
yeah,
comes to Spider-Man is that half mask, half face
and
figure.
that's when he hears it from the crowd, and he gets that surge of energy like Hulk Hogan.
Hmm. They're paying homage to a comic book where he does something similar. He is trapped
Mhm.
and he to kind of hype himself in order to get out of the situation. So I'm glad that they at least are pulling some things from the comics, especially awesome moments, emotional moments like that. Because yeah, man, you when once he starts saying, "Come on, Spider-Man," it kind of it gives you some chills in it, and it brings the kid out in you. All of a sudden, you're rooting for Spider-Man.
Well, and then we come back to Earth because as he's doing this, Ned also gets caught
Oh, jeez,
by a teacher in the
you didn't need
library.
this. You didn't need
I
this.
it's so dumb, but I laughed every time I've seen it. I've laughed unapologetically. I think it's funny. It's
He
not.
had to
You're
say
right.
those lines.
It's not needed, but just the fact that she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm looking at porn.
I'm glad they just ended the scene there. They didn't continue on giving her reaction or anything like that. They just moved on. All
No,
right.
and it's done 100% for a joke,
Oh, absolutely.
which does land. I will admit.
Hmm.
So Peter realizes what he's doing, and we've heard throughout the whole movie Happy talking about moving day, and Tony has sold Avengers Tower, which I wrote a note that was quick, and he's moving everything upstate to what we know as Avengers Campus, and so they've got everything on this cargo plane, and the Vulture is going to use this high altitude vacuum seal, which another thing we've heard about all through the movie from the Tinkerer, and he's going to rob the plane, and Peter needs to obviously stop it. I, I'm I,
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of all the stuff that happens on the plane. Like I like when they get into the fight when they finally get on the ground. The stuff with the plane, again, it's too Tony Stark for me. All the tech, it just doesn't feel Spider-Man for
Okay.
me. I,
I
I,
didn't mind. I didn't mind that thing particularly. Um, it was okay. And it didn't. Yeah, especially yeah when they get to the ground, that part's cool. Just because there's a lot of emotion attached to it.
I
Yeah,
also had a memory.
the stuff on the plane for me was it was a bit of a nothing burger. Kind of just didn't really do anything for me. It kind of was just a scene that was just there. Um, but yeah, you don't really get the full a good as good of a fight as you could have had if they weren't in the sky.
Well, I also had a weird memory that the Vulture was going to the plane and he was going to steal stuff from the plane. I forgot that he was literally just gonna. They they changed he's basically stealing the plane. He changes course, and they duplicate the GPS signature and send a drone to continue on the flight path so that when Happy looks at his tablet, it still shows the plane is going where it should be, and he redirects it so that it's going to take it to wherever he wants it to go, so they can basically harvest everything on the plane. And we see, I mean,
I mean,
how
which
many
works.
arc reactors are on there?
Yeah, like
Iron
100.
Man suits. There's pieces of Ultron that get brought up, or they're either Ultron or they're part of the.
The Ultron was when he was trapped on the truck.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, but I mean,
I think
just
it was an Iron Man helmet.
when he just opened the box and there's like 150 arc reactors, I was like, you're set for 50 lifetimes. Just
Yeah, I
that
mean,
box alone.
the Tinker did. Yeah, he said that, and just one box, and they'll be set for life. So it makes sense once you started opening boxes and you seeing all the shit that's inside. Yeah,
Yeah, when they the plane finally crashes, like obviously it crashes right, I think it's right on the beach in front of Coney Island. And I like this fight scene. I also like that because again, just like so many other superheroes, Spider-Man doesn't want to or won't kill somebody, especially his girlfriend's dad. So he does everything he can to try and save him, because all of a sudden his suit is kind of going haywire, and he says, if you don't stop, it's going to explode. And sure enough, that's what it does. And he has to save Michael Keaton, Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, whatever you want to call him, so that he doesn't blow up with the suit.
yeah, I did like that. There's a lot of emotion, and yeah, you definitely felt it. And having Adrian Toomes be his girlfriend's dad was a smart choice.
Oh, it was great. And it was something that when I first saw this movie, I didn't expect one bit, because they never really say Liz's last name, I don't think. Or if they do, she has a different last name. I don't.
Well, and
But
it's not even that. It's most movies would have, within the dialogue, they would have already foreshadowed it by the dad being mentioned almost constantly, or enough to where it would have been uh focused too much on it, to where you'd be like, the dad, who's the dad? The dad is somebody we know already, kind of stuff.
yeah,
Like they've done in previous movies.
they really kept this hidden, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, 'cause
And, and,
you are as shocked as Peter in the moment he opens the door, or the door's open.
and of course, you get the typical Spider-Man leaving the bad guy for the cops. He's got all the boxes put together, and he's got Toomes webbed to it with a note on him, and it's very Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
And this is when we go back in, we find out Liz says that that her and her mom are moving to Oregon because her dad doesn't want them around for the trial. We go back into the decathlon team. Zendaya gets made captain, and all my friends call me MJ. Like the end of the movie is just kind of paying off little bits here and there. Peter gets called up to Avengers campus because he is officially going to be named an Avenger, and we get our first shot of the Iron Spider suit, which obviously doesn't come into play until Infinity War.
Yeah, I mean, it's the MCU Iron Spiders. It's the comic book version looks much different. It's like red and gold, and
Yeah, this one has little bits of gold, but it's the majority just the regular red and blue.
mhm. But it for what it was, it's okay. But yeah, no, it even because he pretty much is giving, Tony is giving Peter everything he wanted, and he declines.
Mm-hmm.
But he says like, this is the test.
Yeah,
And,
there's nobody really back there, is there?
For the most part, I thought it was a test too. They kind of set it up.
Absolutely.
They set it up that way until the doors open. Pepper comes through, and you see all the media, the press junket there. It's like,
Which
oh
I
shit.
think this is the movie that Gwyneth Paltrow was asked later what it was like to be in this movie, and she had no recollection of ever even being in this movie. They were on
Yeah,
like some kind of a press junket, and somebody asked about Spider-Man Homecoming, and she's like, I wasn't in that movie. And they're like, yeah, you fucking were.
yeah. I know
But
it
we
was
get
a
teased the
Spider.
engagement.
Yeah. Which is why did Happy have that ring in his pocket for
Oh,
so
he
long?
said he had it. He said he's had it since
2008.
2008,
Oh, get it? Iron Man came out in
and the MCU
2008.
was born.
Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah,
I
that's
do like that Peter gets the suit back. Tony gives it back to him, and I love the final scene of this movie as he's putting the scene on, and the camera just slowly pans backwards, and you see May standing in his bedroom door, and you just hear, "What the credits?"
yeah. I mean, the fact that Aunt May knows is something
It,
new, but
it
it's
is. It's
something.
very new.
It is, but it isn't because it is established that Aunt May always knew because she's
She
no,
knew
she's not
but didn't
stupid.
know.
She knew, but she never really told. She never really
Let
made
on,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, but she kind of did subtle with just how she talks about Spider-Man and all that. But here they just roll out, uh, establish that yes, she does know who he is, which is different.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's fine. It doesn't. It would make sense that she would know anyways, so they kind of just leaned into it, which is fine.
Well, I mean, because of where the story of Spider-Man goes across his movies as well as the team up movies, she kind of has to know. Like just the way just the direction that they took it.
Yeah, like you're like you can't. Yeah, there's no way because she even calls them out on disappearing and all that.
Yeah.
She was going to find out eventually.
And I mean, I don't know how she didn't already. Like again, the whole Stark internship, all this stuff with Spider-Man happens when Peter just happens to not be home. We get established early on, oh, I lost another backpack. First of all, why are you putting your backpack on a dumpster that can be just taken?
Yeah, put it on the roof. He usually puts it on
Uh,
the roof or in
Put
a
on a
spot
roof
where like
or on a
a normal
wall,
person
something that's
couldn't get
not going
to
to
it,
move.
or like a spot where a normal person can't take it.
Yeah. That anyway, so then we get the post-credit scene. We see Adrian Toomes meets Gargan in prison, and shockingly enough, because of what he did for his daughter, he protects Peter's identity.
Yeah,
And I looked at it. I've looked at it in a couple different ways. I've looked at it both that he does it as a almost like a thank you to Peter for not ever
uh,
telling Liz about him. But I also look at it as I don't want anyone else to know who he is because I want to be the one
to take him
to
down.
get
I
him.
think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both because he did save his life and he saved his daughter's life.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a respect there, and it shows
But
that he does have
he's still his
integrity.
enemy.
But he wants, yeah. But it also you could tell like he's the type of guy that wants to do it himself and wouldn't tell anybody. That I could believe like he would be the character that wouldn't do that as well. Even if he
Yeah.
didn't save him, he wouldn't say it because he would want to be the guy that takes him down.
Mm.
So I think, yeah,
Well,
it's definitely a little bit of both.
I think we can get into our categories that we've been doing lately. Unless you had something else you wanted to talk about specifically before we get into this.
No, we're good.
All right, Trading Faces, our recasting. Do you have any? I have one shot in the dark for
I got
somebody
one.
who I think could play Spider-Man. Who you got?
I don't know his name, but he was Peter. His name was he was Peter in the Hunger Games.
Oh, Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, he just
Okay,
has
I can.
a Peter Parker vibe.
I I went another way. I went Timothy Chalamet.
He's too pretty, man. He's too pretty.
Even Tom Holland's pretty.
Nah, he's not that good. He's not that. He
I
ain't
just
that
that was
pretty.
that was the first thing that came to my mind in terms of like
Yeah,
around the same age. He's got that. At least when this came out, he would have had that same young look. Timothy Chalamet is a great actor.
yeah. I
I
mean, he would have
mean,
done a good job. He would have been more of like an Andrew Garfield type
yeah,
Spider-Man.
probably.
Uh, uh, but he would have pulled it off for sure.
And speaking of Andrew Garfield, I'm so glad that Peter Parker doesn't come anywhere close to a fucking skateboard in this.
Yeah, yeah. No, they established like he is a
Peter
nerd through
Peter
and
Parker
through,
is not cool enough to ride a skateboard.
right? No, if he did, he wouldn't look cool.
No. All right. Our scene obsession, your favorite or best scene of the movie?
Honestly, when the opening scene where he's kind of just being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man,
The
because
montage with the
it
bike and the
felt like
churro.
yeah, because it felt the most like Spider-Man in this Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
to me
Okay.
anyway.
See, I have the red light, the scene with Michael Keaton when
Oh, I
he
see. Yeah,
the
that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
the good old Spider-Man. And I have that followed by the speech that I'll kill you and everyone you love. Uh, that whole thing, like that whole car ride, as well as when he drops off Liz and tells her to go in and he just has that personal moment with Peter. That whole scene to me is the best part of like the best scene of the movie. So our scene regression, your worst or most cringy moment in the movie.
The
Mine,
porn,
I'm
the
the
porn.
point.
I was like, that's the cringiest part, man. You didn't have to do that. You didn't say all that.
See, mine is the whole interrogation scene with Donald Glover. I love the fact that there's the Easter egg when he talks about his nephew living in the neighborhood, but I think the whole interrogation mode, the deep voice, the uh, Donald Glover kind of calling him out, like, you don't do this very often. Like, it didn't feel right in the movie. Aside from the Easter egg, I thought the whole scene went on way too long as well.
A
All right,
little bit. I
what do you
understand
have?
the
Oh, go
purpose
ahead.
of the scene, but I understand the purpose of the scene. Yeah, it was kind of played a little bit too long.
Yeah, I agree. What do you have for a quotable moment? Your favorite line in the movie?
Probably. I like if you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it.
That's exactly mine. And I hate that I'm giving this, as much as I've griped on the whole Tony Stark thing, I hate that I'm giving this to Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's the one that said the line, but
But yeah, if you're
that,
nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it.
yeah,
It's
that's one of the core lessons of this movie. And they established it within a single sentence. So I get it.
standout performance. What actor or actress stole the movie?
I'm gonna say Hannibal Buress. No, I'm just playing. Definitely Michael Keaton. What are you talking about?
100%.
He's
I
just
put
one of the
his
one of my
his
favorite. He's
Vulture.
one of my favorite. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors. Period. Because everything he's in, he completely knocks it out of the park. Even though he's one of those characters where, or he's one of those actors where he's just kind of playing a version of himself. He just uh he does it in a way where it's just so entertaining to watch. You know,
I put him as probably one of my top 5 MC. And I
yeah,
will say
I
this,
mean that's not a
If you like Michael Keaton as an actor, if you have not seen the movie The Founder, I would highly recommend that. Where he plays Ray Kroc, the guy who started McDonald's, quote unquote.
I mean,
He is
I mean,
excellent in that.
uh, yeah,
And
I see parts of that movie. I haven't seen.
it's good. And our last category, chemistry check. Who had the best on-screen chemistry? I have Peter
Oh,
and Ned.
yeah, 100%.
I don't find, at least in this movie, that Peter and MJ have any chemistry.
Him and Aunt May, Peter and Aunt May was pretty good too.
Yeah, they have a good. I like their relationship. She seems very relatable in the fact that, or she feels like she can relate to him. I think it's because this is probably the youngest Aunt May we've ever seen in a Spider-Man movie.
And it's more believable because I never believed like a teenage kid can have an
Has
aunt
an 85-year-old aunt.
who's geriatric. You know what I mean? It
That's
just
a
doesn't make
great.
sense.
That's a great aunt. That's your dad's aunt.
Right? So they kind of when that is a change, that's a different direction that works. One of
I
very few
agree.
in this movie.
All right, now I think we can move into our final thoughts. Um, I suggested this movie, so I'll take it away. Overall, I really do enjoy this movie, despite some of the nitpicks that I have kind of gone through as we've progressed through this episode. I really like the casting. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. As you had said earlier, I think he is the best of both worlds in terms of the Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The movie looks awesome. It even with the CGI, it just looks like you're really in the world of Spider-Man, despite not having very many scenes in New York City itself. I like Jacob Batalon as Ned. Not a big fan of Zendaya. That's just a personal opinion. Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Absolutely knocks it out of the park. As I said, top 5 MCU villain in my. The story of the movie, I think, was a great origin. Just kind of showing him getting out there in the beginning, as you said, being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and ramping up to show that he is worthy of more and being an Avenger eventually. It's a super fun ride to watch. The dialogue is funny. It really does feel like a one of the versions of a comic book of Peter Parker brought to the screen, and I would highly recommend this, Teddy. It's got jokes, it's got a little bit of romance with him and Liz, it's got the action, it's got everything you would want from a superhero movie, specifically Spider-Man, except for Spidey sense, as we discussed. But I had a lot of fun with it, and I would overall give this movie. I am right in lockstep with IMDb. I'm going to give this a 7.5. You know what? I was leaning higher before we started, but as we kind of talked through it lowered my rating just a little bit.
I get it. Yeah, no, that's pretty much where I'm at as well. I think, yeah, this movie was. I enjoyed it. I believe that it does succeed at um, telling a genuinely fun coming of age story, and they succeeded with showing us an origin story without really showing us an origin story. Tom Holland's fantastic. I think he is the best Spider-Man slash Peter Parker that we've had so far out of all the actors that have played him. Michael Keaton, I think, delivers one of the MCU's strongest villains. Definitely top 5 or even top 3. I think that the action is entertaining enough that, but not super memorable. Um, I just think the movie stumbles on some of its creative choices surrounding Spider-Man's mythology. Just the reimagining the characters of MJ, Ned, and Flash didn't really resonate with me so much. Um, just personally, I just miss seeing the more classic Spider-Man elements, like the web slinging through New York and a stronger emphasis on the spider sense, because there were moments where it in there and they didn't, and that whenever that happens, it kind of takes me out of the movie a little bit, which that because of that I have to bring the movie down. Um, but there are plenty of moments where Tom Holland definitely feels like Spider-Man, but just at times it also smelled like Spider-Man guest starring in an MC movie instead of Spider-Man being uh Spider-Man movie that just happened to within the MCU. I just feel like the MCU just had too much influence on Spider-Man that I preferred, and it's that distinction is what keeps it from reaching the heights of my one of my favorite Spider-Man films, which is Spider-Man 2, um, from Sam Raimi's universe. So, as much as it is highly entertaining, excellent lead performance, memorable villain, heartfelt story, um, I have to give this also a 7.5 out of 10.
I got to be honest, knowing your history and your love for Spider-Man, I thought you were going to go higher, but I completely respect where I'm there
I
too.
was flirting between a 7.5 and an 8,
That's kind
but
of, I was at an 8 before we started our conversation.
it's just how so much different it is, and more choices it's that didn't work for me, that yeah, definitely brought the movie down considerably for myself.
Yeah. So that's going to bring us to an end of this episode, as well as an end to our MCU Origins. What we're going to be doing next is a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to take turns picking directors. We're going to do 4 of them. One will pick first. And then once he picks, we're going to go back to our usual back and forth on movies. So we're going to do 4 different directors and 4 movies. So, Juan, why don't you tell us which director and which movie we are going to be watching?
Well, it's only right that we establish the new theme, and we start with who I believe is the greatest filmmaker, greatest storyteller of all time, and that is the one Steven Spielberg.
John Lasseter?
I mean,
Sorry, say that again so our listeners can hear it before I
definitely
interrupt
is.
you.
There's an argument for that, but I'm gonna go to who I think it. Yeah, Steven Spielberg, and the movie
Right
that I'm
on.
picking is one of his most entertaining, most memorable, most probably rewatched movie of his catalog.
Did it come out in 93?
I think so. I
Schindler's
think
List?
so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Absolutely. One of my favorites. I love watching that every year.
I
Yeah.
can't. Well, I've watched it once. I can't do it again.
No, the movie that we are touching upon will make you believe that dinosaurs are walking among us, because we are touching on one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is Jurassic Park.
Let's go. I agree. Absolutely one of my favorites as well.
I think it's one of his
it's
best movies, in my opinion. I'd say top 3 for me. I think it is perfect. I think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah,
It's got
I don't
plot
think there's.
holes, absolutely, that you can lean on, but other than that, I think it's pretty flawless.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And now this is not something that's been a while. I typically rewatch this movie. I would say at least once a year, maybe every 2 years. But I'm always happy to have an excuse to watch Jurassic.
Yes, same here. If I'm not watching the first one, I'm watching at least one of the sequels, even though they're not as good. I think it's one of those things that has a diminishing value after the first one, but they keep trying, and sometimes they
I mean,
come out pretty good.
yeah, the sequels are nowhere near as good, but some of them are still entertaining enough that I could sit there and be like, I'll waste 2 hours on this.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So that's going to wrap it up here for us. As you heard, we will be watching Jurassic Park as we start our new series next week. And as always, we would like to thank all of our listeners and subscribers. We would ask that you rate and review the pod and give us a follow, Spotify, or give us a follow over on YouTube, and tell your family and friends about us to help us grow. As always, give us a follow on our socials, which will be posted in the show notes. And until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
Lights down, screen up, here we go. Talking movies, everybody knows the good, the bad.